What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So Michigan State basketball closes out their non-conference slate with an 80-62 win against Western Michigan on Monday in the Breslin Center, and what was kind of a sleepy Breslin Center for most of the afternoon there. But hey, Michigan State closes it out with a win there, and it was honestly looking a lot closer than that for most of the game. Western Michigan was hanging around 7-10 points most of the game, right in that general range, and they were hitting some shots. Overall, the percentages might not look like it if you just look at the box score, but watching the game, they were making some shots to keep this a close game. Just Michigan State could never get over that hump until the later part, like the last 7 to 5 minutes of the game, and then they were finally able to have one more push that was just too much for Western to overcome. As we talked about coming into the game, that anytime a former Izzo assistant or manager on the team or anyone that has been associated with the program for as long as Dwayne Stephens has, and Chris Fowler on the staff, other guys on the staff as well, they're in Kalamazoo. It's going to be a tough game. We saw that with Bowling Green and Tum Tum coming back earlier this year. This game was a lot closer than the 18 points, that it says in the scorebook right here. But anyway, we're going to get into the recap for this one. But first, before we do, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. More Michigan State basketball content on the channel going forward, jumping into Big Ten play here on Friday for the rest of the way. So we will be back to preview that one before we get into that, and we'll have previews and recaps for every single Michigan State basketball game here rest of the season, and obviously going into next year for football as well, and a bunch of other Michigan State stuff on the channel. Other stuff on the channel, we'll have a college football playoff preview up on the channel. It might already be up when you're watching this video as well, so just make sure to subscribe. A bunch of stuff on the channel so you don't miss a video. But let's just jump in first, starting with Western. As we said, they were making some plays that were keeping this game kind of in balance for a good portion of the game. Max Burton for them in 25 minutes, 10 points, 5 for 5 from the field overall. 12 points for Chancey Willis Jr. He came in and he was a tough guard for them. He was 5 for 9 overall, 2 for 5 from the field, 0 for 4 from the free throw line though. And Western Michigan, they were definitely struggling from the free throw line. 7 for 17, which is 41% on the day for Western Michigan. 2 for 8 for Owen Lobsinger. So when we talked about coming into the game, he had 8 and 6 in this game, but 2 for 8 from the free throw line for him. We mentioned Chancey Willis, 2 for 5, 2 for 4 for Brandon Muntu, 0 for 2 for Markai Strickland, 1 for 4 from Sari Lewis off the bench. And the only person who had any success at the free throw line for Western was Donovan Williams, down with 13 minutes a game. He had 6 points. All 6 of them came from the free throw line, 6 for 6 for him from the free throw line in this one. And we talked about Chancey Willis too, and he was really kind of their best player in this one. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. I believe it was him and Jeremy Fears that were getting into it when they both got the double techs, and he was bringing it for them in this one, not just their leading scorer, but in a lot of aspects of the game for Western as well. So you had to give them credit there, and bringing it. And Dwayne Stephens having a good plan for Michigan State. He was able to force a lot of turnovers. Some of them were self-inflicted turnovers for Michigan State, but a lot of it was on what Western Michigan was doing in this one as well. Jumping over to the Michigan State side, this was Jaden Akins, another solid game when you needed him to make shots. 18 points, only 2 rebounds, 1 assist, but 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 2 for 7 from 3, 6 for 13 overall from the field. 24 minutes, leading us in minutes here, and that's what we said. I don't think anyone this year will average over 25, 28 minutes a game, somewhere in there. I think Jaden, probably Jeremy Fears, Trey Holloman, Jace Richardson too. They'll all probably be in that 22 to 25 range most games this year. I'm curious what happens if you get into a conference game that it's, tight back and forth the whole game, if the rotation shrinks a little bit, but that's just something we've been talking about for most of the season to this point. So I'm curious. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but Jaden Akins, solid game for him as well, especially scoring the ball when we needed someone to score the ball. Struggling overall shooting from three on the day, 30% overall, 6 for 20. 50% from the field isn't horrible, but it just seems like with the turnovers that Michigan State had, they just needed someone at times to just calm things down, go get a bucket, and Jaden Akins was that guy in this one. Also, Carson Cooper setting a career high, I believe, with 13 points here, 6 rebounds as well. And he was doing nice things in the paint, 5 for 6 overall, 3 for 3 from the free throw line, which is huge as well for Carson in this one. Trey Holloman was solid in this one. He got off to a good start, had 2 3-pointers within the first couple minutes of the game here, finished with 9 points, 6 assists on the game, 3 for 5 overall from the 3-point line into this one. Simone Zapala as well, 8 points, 9 rebounds. He was good around the rim for 4 for 6. Jackson Kohler kind of struggled in this one in 16 minutes, only had 1 point, was 0 for 4 from the field in this one, only 4 rebounds. Xavier Booker, struggled in this one as well off the bench, 2 points, 1 for 4 from the field overall, only 2 rebounds. Cohen Carr provided a solid spark, 9 points, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Absolutely love to see that from Cohen Carr. He also splashed another 3 in this one, so Cohen Carr truly becoming a 3-and-D wing here. I still like him. Don't get me wrong. Still want him to play majority at the 4. But hey, if he can eventually be hitting, a 3-pointer, and that's what we talked about. If it's just a thought in the defense's mind that Cohen Carr can knock down, that wing or corner 3 when action is going on the opposite side of the court, and being able to swing it over to Cohen Carr and the defense have to react to that, I think that will help him be able to get blow-by finishes at the rim, blow-by play make for someone else on the team. So I think that's positive. We're not going to get carried away, the last 2 games just going 2 for 2 overall from 3. But that's just something to keep an eye on. I know that's something that Izzo has talked about that Cohen has worked on a lot, is his shot. We're seeing it at the free throw line, as we said, 6 for 6 on the day from the free throw line, and 1 for 1 now from 3 this game and last game as well. So that's a positive sign as well. 5 rebounds, 2 blocks for Cohen as well. And then last person, just want to talk about here, Jace Richardson, 23 minutes, had 9 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, a steal, a block, 4 for 4 overall from the field. Just overall, his game is just so smooth. Love to see it, and that's the thing with this team. And I think if you're a betting person, I feel like this team is so hard to bet on because it's really like anyone can carry this team to a win any given night. It can be Jaden Akins. Jaden Akins is, in my opinion, he's been Michigan State's best player this year, and he is their go-to guy. If they need a bucket, he's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to try to make something happen with it. But if he doesn't have it going, Jace Richardson can also get it going. We saw Trey Holloman pick this team up at times. We saw Cohen Carr last game. We saw Xavier Booker against Oakland. Jackson Kohler a handful of times this year. A couple double-doubles on the year as well for him. And that's the thing that I love about this team is that it really can be anyone, any night. And I think that's what is helping Michigan State out here. And yes, it's an 18-point win against a 3-9 now Western Michigan team. But what we talked about, what we wanted to see from these last 3 non-conference games going into the new year before we're in Big Ten play for the rest of the way is just seeing more, is continue to see the consistency on both ends of the floor for Michigan State, which I feel like we've seen for the most part. The thing that hurt Michigan State today mostly was the 17 turnovers. If you cut those 17 turnovers down to where you would ideally like to be around, probably 8 to 12 turnovers, if you cut those turnovers down and you score on half of those, you're looking at a 22-point win or more. The spread in this one was 27.5. If you cut those turnovers down by 4 or 5, you're probably hitting that spread in this one. You were able to force Western 17 turnovers as well, but getting out running 23 fast break points for Michigan State, 36 points in the paint. Absolutely love that in this one. And 37 rebounds, winning the rebounding margin again against a good Western Michigan team. That was, something we talked about coming in, that Western Michigan was a good rebounding team. We would expect that under a coach like Dwayne Stephens, who was here under Tom Izzo for so many years, and that was is a staple of this Michigan State program. So, it was very similar what they like to do. They like to get out and run as well. 16 fast break points for Western in this one, 30 rebounds for them. So you had to give them credit there, but Michigan State, as we said, winning the boards, winning the fast break points, winning the assist battle as well. Always love to win that. 7 blocks for Michigan State as well, but just those turnovers got to come down. 30% from 3 is better than we were at the beginning of the year, but would like to still see that start creeping up. 34, 35. Would love to see that where we're at, consistently every single game. 91% about from the free throw line, 20 for 22. Love to see that. Want that to continue as we head here into conference play. So overall, a good win for Michigan State to close this out. And this is, one that these weirds, as we said, it was kind of a weird 3 o'clock sleepy afternoon in the Breslin Center. These games are always, kind of sketchy. You don't know how they're going to go. Obviously, the students aren't there, but it was a packed house. It was sold out. But overall, just kind of a sleepy feel for a lot of it. Both teams coming off long layoffs since their last game. 10 games for Michigan State. I think it was about the same they mentioned on the broadcast for Western. So happy Michigan State was able to get away with a win in this one. Going into, as we said, Big Ten Conference play for the rest of the way at Ohio State on Friday night. So we will be back with a preview for that one later this week. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.